Good afternoon, friends. This video on one of the important change as proposed by clause number 107, 108, 109 of Finance Bill 2021. In section 129, which is pertaining to detention, seizure, release of goods or conveyance in transit, or confiscation of goods or conveyance under section 130 of CGST Act. In terms of section 129 subsection 1 subclause A, when owners comes forward, subclause B, when owner does not comes forward. Earlier, the provision was for release of detained goods or conveyance in transit. Earlier provision was tax plus 100% penalty, which is now proposed to be amended. It would be 200% penalty, and reference of tax is being done away. Tax is being withdrawn. Why tax is being withdrawn? Because it is being challenged. Constitutional validity of this tax to be levied under section 129 is being challenged in different high court because it amounts to double taxation. First, tax is being charged on invoice rate, and second, tax is being charged under section 129. This was the moot ground for challenging the tax doubly under section 129. So reference of tax is now going away. It would be 200% penalty as against 100% penalty. Looks like same tax plus 100% penalty. It is now going to be 200% penalty. But for your reference, penalty always to be paid in cash. You can't use your e-credit ledger. First, tax can be paid through your e-credit ledger, but not the penalty. So for release of detained goods or conveyance in transit as proposed, there would be 200% penalty going to be levied under section 129 subsection 1 subclause A when owner comes forward for release, subclause B when owner does not comes forward for the release. First part. Second part, there will not be provisional release of goods henceforth as per amended provision on execution of bond or security. Earlier it was allowed, but now as per amended provision, there will not be provisional release on execution of bond or security, meaning thereby there would be compulsorily penalty levied. Then only he can release detained goods or conveyance. Coming to the third component, section 129 subsection 3. Proper officer must issue notice within 7 days from the detention of goods or conveyance in transit, and he must pass an order within 7 days from the date of service of notice, which is called penalty order. Now, whenever this penalty order is being passed, opportunity of being heard must be given. This is what the amended provision saying so. So, once penalty order is being passed, then it must be paid as specified under section 129 subsection 6 of CGST Act, clearly saying it must be paid within 15 days, 1-5, from the date of service of order. If this penalty not being paid within 15 days, then proper officer is now made eligible. They can sold or disposed of such detained goods or conveyance in such time period or in such manner as may be prescribed. For release of detained conveyance, there would be payment by the transporter, a penalty or 1 lakh, whichever is less. This is what the provision proposed. In case taxpayer fails to pay the penalty and time period given 15 days, he can go and file appeal that is available under section 107 subsection 6 of CGST Act, but with pre-deposit of 25% of penalty, and penalty all which to be paid in cash. Now, what are the contradiction which is coming out from this amended provision? First contradiction, pre-deposit, which is normally 10% of disputed tax under section 107 subsection 6, for penalty under section 129, it would be 25% of penalty to be pre-deposited, first of all. Second, the time period, as against 15 days, you will find normal provision of 90 days for filing appeal under section 107. So it is circumventing my right to appeal with lesser time duration. Third, minor versus major error. There may be honest taxpayer and he has made some clerical error. He will be charged with 200% penalty at par with dishonest taxpayer who want to evade the tax, 200% penalty. Both are taken on same page, which is contradicting. And coming on number 4, reasonableness. The power which is being given in the hands of officer are not reasonable. There is contradiction of free movement of goods as per the Constitution of India. So section 129 and section 130 still open for challenge before High Court because it is against free movement of goods. I am of the view that this 200 penalty which is being proposed, quite understandable. It is being done to check tax evasion, to check the tax evaders, but the similar provision going to be applicable even to the honest taxpayer who has made clerical error. And look at the kind of pre-deposit, as against 10% of disputed tax, it would be 25% now minimum, and that too in cash, because penalty to be paid in cash for filing appeal. Even after filing appeal before first appellate authority, what is the guarantee in how many days your appeal, our appeal going to be heard? Even if it is being heard and decided against, we have to file appeal in tribunal, and tribunal is yet to be formed. We are in a progress that appellate tribunal under GST is yet to be formed. Let me come back to the conclusion part which I want to draw here. We have seen a lot of dispute and challenges. When we see section 129 and what kind of challenges and the problem which we find, that there may be some classification dispute, but can it be challenged? Can it be invoked by the proper officer under section 129? Valuation. To my mind, classification, rate, valuation, these kind of things cannot be raised under section 129. Section 129 is meant to check the documentation code for the goods in movement and conveyance in movement. And sometimes we have seen that transporter, the driver, is taking different route as against the route supposed to be, or he may have gone to some different area which is not being prescribed, and the kilometer as prescribed for eBay bill get exceeded. So lot of such issues are there, and we have seen the kind of dispute which is being raised under section 129. Sometime invoice date is not matching, penalty proceedings initiated. Sometime the truck number mismatch, this 129 proceedings initiated, so exceeded power. Reasonableness is missing, and this 200% penalty with no bifurcation that it is meant for only dishonest taxpayer, but as per the provision it can be levied even to a honest taxpayer who has made clerical error. Section 130. Earlier it was starting with notwithstanding. Now this notwithstanding is being taken away. It is going to start from where. So where is being replaced in place of notwithstanding. Good one. Reference of 129 and 130 is being delinked. So proceedings under section 129 for detention, seizure, release of goods or conveyance in transit is being delinked with the proceedings under section 130 for confiscation of goods or conveyance, wherein minimum penalty now proposed 100% of the tax amount chargeable. Further and important, section 74, which is the proceedings for the tax, interest and penalty. As per proposed changes, there would be parallel proceedings now. For tax, there would be proceedings under section 74 for penalty, which is independent, delinked for section 129 and section 130. So this is very important change. We must know this 200% penalty even going to be levied under section 129 for clerical error. My humble suggestion to the government would be that we must see and create the bifurcation. We must create two categories. 200% penalty at par cannot be levied for minor and major violation. Maybe on honest taxpayer and dishonest taxpayer. So some clerical error on the part of honest taxpayer with 200% penalty looks too far, too exceeded. This need to be looked into, and we have to find out solution so that we can ensure free movement of goods. And there should not be penalty, because penalty levied to be paid in cash and no corresponding credit available in GST regime. So this is on important change which is being proposed under section 129 and section 130. Right, clause number 107, 108 and 109 of Finance Bill 2021. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Lot more coming up pertaining to GST changes. Thank you very much.